Let's do this. 4 wide. Sounds of the strip. Qualifier finds himself in some trouble here. Gary showed you the tire. Maybe this is just a little bit more. Cory Mack takes the win. And how about your E3 upset alert, Mike?
Yep,
She
call it
well.
the second. Corey very upset, and this is the problem you have with the cold conditions. We saw it wants to pull the rubber. Good news for Corey, shouldn't be too mad about it. I mean, it's upsetting that he lost a tire, but the good news was that wing stayed on.
And we're going to have a chance to look at this. Now listen.
Wow, you can hear it, that tire let go. And they got to watch out, I mean, because the tire, that explosion from the tire, it could bend the chassis big time in the rear. I had one happen in Topeka one year, and it pretty much destroyed the back half of the chassis, and it was similar. It didn't knock the wing out, so I was able to drive it, not hit anything. But boy, it tore the back of the chassis up big time. There you see it, Corey and Rhonda advancing on to round 2.
Brandon, lane 3, he had problems right off the start, as did Morgan Lucas. They both went everywhere.
Yeah, and they both were having troubles all through qualifying, so that's not a huge surprise. But it wasn't a surprise that Corey went right down the racetrack. Tough break that tire went. Hopefully it did not get the chassis hurt, because they cannot bring out another one. They have to be able to run that chassis in the next round.
So not necessarily an issue of the 4 wide, but the temperature.
Yeah, the track is just so tight.
We need to get the car back as fast as we can.
The rubber just grips so hard to that surface, and it starts pulling the rubber. And obviously that's something you don't want to see happen.
We've been kind of listening a little bit to his radio there, and they said they got to get the car back quick. Let's go to Dave Reed.
Lee Beard is a tuner, won both races and championships, now is the team manager for Don Schumacher Racing. Lee, was there any indication that we were going to have any kind of tire issues today because of the grip of this racetrack?
Well, we've seen a little bit of tire chunking during qualifying, but nothing real serious. You know, anytime you're in really cold, tight track conditions, you see that.
You've done this many times. This has happened. What's the next step in this process? What's the first thing you guys got to do for his race car?
Well, we'll have to make sure that the chassis is good and sound. Anytime that a rear tire goes out, it tends to want to twist the car up a little bit. So our main concern is to make sure we have a good sound chassis.
Lee Beard, fresh back from Abu Dhabi, where Don Schumacher Racing drivers Tommy Johnson and Hot Rod Fuller put on a great spectacle. Down at the far, and here's Gary.
And with Cory McClenathon, who came out of the car, the safety crew was working on your neck. You get a little whiplash there, or what happened?
You know what, when it drops a tire like that, it just torques it over, and the first thing you think about is stay away from the person that's next to you. Well, 4 wide, I have no idea who's next to me. Don't care because we're racing our own car, but that's a tough. You know, I don't want to hurt the car, so I'm trying to stay away from the wall. I want to be able to bring this car back because it's running so good right now. So, you know, my boys are the best, and obviously with DSR, we have all the parts and pieces. We'll get something together. We'll be back here.
Did you get a chance to look and see, is there any damage in the back? Don Schumacher coming over to make sure his driver's all right.
Yeah, it was just the tire came off. I mean, I don't know how or why, but I just don't want to change cars.
You kept her off the wall.
Kept her off the wall, so we'll get it done.